Welcome back to The Art and the Easel. My name is Gina.
Aaron Chisholm here.
And then we have a guest today.
How you doing? I'm Gueston. The Gueston on the show.
Welcome. I love it. As you know, that we're a podcast all about the intersection about well-being, spirituality, creative arts. If this is your first time, welcome. And I'll kick it off to Aaron in terms of doing a mindful moment. We always do a mindful moment before we dig into the conversation.
Okay.
So we'll do that and then we'll go in and dive into our discussion.
Yes, let's
Okay,
do
sweet.
it.
Sounds
Cool.
good.
Well, if you were in a safe space, if you're not driving, take the time to just kind of sit still, maybe close your eyes. And we're going to do like 3 quick breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your nose. And just try to think, if you didn't have any positive thoughts today or whatever the case may be, let's just take the next 20 seconds to have some positive thoughts in regards to the breath that you're taking in and just being thankful and grateful for that breath that you're taking in and releasing whatever, problems you're facing for that moment, right? You can pick them back up afterwards if you want. But just for the next 20 seconds, 20, 30 seconds, let's just focus on our breath and get ourselves recentered. So the first breath in is coming in through our nose. Exhale. Next breath. And then this last breath, take it in through your nose, and then we exhale. Just tell yourself, you can say it loudly, you can say it internally, that you're okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm okay.
Okay. I
Cool.
think that's your favorite meditation to do.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah. That's
I haven't done that on my own in a minute though. I just typically lately been doing it to like silence and no music at all or anything and not even saying anything. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. But welcome, Gueston.
Welcome.
How you doing, bro?
Start the podcast. I like how you started that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, man. Gueston, I met this guy a few years ago at a real estate meetup. And we followed each other on Instagram. And I just been seeing this dude work for the last few years and like slowly continue to grow his brand. So I feel like, let's start there and talk about who Gueston is, what the Guest Creative is, and then we'll get started with our questions. But we'd love to give the audience a brief sneak peek into who you are, what you all about.
Okay. Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Gueston. I'm from Funky Town, Fort Worth, Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth, if you're not familiar with that area. I'm very creative, adventurous, explorer. I'm an architectural designer by trade. I design shipping container homes, modular homes, mobile pop-up structures with trailers. So I like to take what's unconventional and make it useful, practical, and luxurious looking. I have my own clothing line, which is designed to inspire. It's called the I Am Collection. Got shoes. I just like to create. So I used to play a lot of video games growing up that allowed you to create your own player and or design your own car. So I love customization and personalization. So everything is wrapped around that. And I take those skill sets and apply that to design for others and create for others.
Amazing. I love that.
That's so cool. I love that you added what sparked that, like in video games, customizing everything. To kick it off with some questions that we have. First one is, what is art to you? I know it's very subjective, obviously, but when it comes to mind, what do you think?
Art is expression at the root of it, because it's done in so many ways. You have music, you have creative art, you have acting, things like that. It's all just an expression of what's inside and what's in yourself. I think to put it simply.
Yeah. What would you describe the easel as? The title of our podcast is The Art and the Easel. What would you describe the easel as?
Well, an easel is the structure, the form which holds the art, that expresses the art. It's the amplifier. So, the person holding the book in a way, or holding the art piece.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Well, the first question I have for you is about creating space, right? When we think about creating space, we always think about it in a mental or an emotional way. But you literally create space in like the work that you do.
Yeah.
So talk about the importance of creating physical spaces and how that attributes to somebody's like mental health and mental well-being.
Well, space is just a void. So space is only defined by what you put in it and the boundaries that you create around it. So in terms of physical space, it's extremely important because not only do your physical, spiritual space is within your body, but like your external physical space has to be a place of peace for you. It has to be a place of comfort, a place of where you feel comfortable being by yourself in solitude. Physical space in so many ways is important because have you ever been in an apartment or stayed in a place that like was completely dark, like all day? Maybe it's like it's not oriented in the right direction, so it gets no sun inside. I know I stayed in an apartment a couple of years ago near downtown LA, and the apartment that I had was faced kind of towards like a wall. It was enough space, but like no matter what time of the day that I came home, it was always dark, and it really had like an actual influence on my mood. Like when I get home, I didn't want to go home during the day. I'm like, it's dark. I might as well go outside. Like do something. So things like that are really important on how you control your space, what you put inside it, how the space is designed, and from the exterior and an intentional point of view is also important. So
yeah, why container homes? Like for you?
I liked it because one, it's very unique, but two, it's something that people overlook, but it's designed. It already has so much infrastructure in place. So there's shipyards that are built to transport these things. There's 18-wheelers that are designed to take these things from point A to point B. So these things are completely rigid. They're strong. They're built to stand the test of time. They're built to stand going across oceans and big waves and having to deal with all these different environmental factors. These things are already built for it. So in my head, I was like, why not convert this space into a usable living space or retail or something for your business as well. It's just a unique space that already has the infrastructure to be transported and modified and customized.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't even think about the transport of these homes and how the infrastructure is already built for it. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take what's useful, what's already working, and apply some cool aesthetics, and some swag to it, some luxury vibes, some customization, some personalization to it.
Yeah, cool.
I love it. I'm curious because I feel like a lot of people, when they move to a space, there's always a first step of how do I make it feel like my own, make it feel cozy, make it feel like when people walk in, like they know it's my place. And you mentioned making sure that it's a place of peace, of solitude, etc. For those that sometimes feel like I lived in New York for a long time, and some apartments are small as hell. They have no windows. It almost feels like like in Harry Potter, the little cupboard that he's in under the stairs. It feels like that. In circumstances and situations like that, how would you advise or suggest someone kind of make the place that they have, whatever circumstances they're in, to make it feel like their own? Like, what does that look like? Whether it's mentally, tangibly, like, what do you recommend, or what kind of mental framework would you want to advise?
Yeah, I would start by first understanding what it is that you like and don't like in a space. Because you have such a confined space, you have to then start thinking about what you truly value the most. Like, do you value eating? Do you value sitting, relaxing, and watching TV? Do you value sitting and meditating in a space that feels closer to nature? So all those considerations have to take into place. But say, for example, you're a sports guy and you only have a small confined space. You have to start thinking about how you can maximize that space. And that's something that me and my team are really good at is not only listening to what you need and what you have and what you have existing, but also how you live, and fitting the right amount of storage. You still have to have a place to cook. You have to have a place to sit down for leisure. You have to have a place. Ideally, in my mind, for personal development, you need some kind of desk or something, some area where you can get stuff done. And then you have to have, obviously, your bathing. You have to have a shower, toilets, stuff. So you have to be able to fit it all in there. But me personally, I need in my room that I have all of the natural elements in there. So I have wind, fire, water. The fourth one, I forgot it already. But I have my candles. I have the fan. I have a water fountain that I can hear the trickle of the water while I'm chilling throughout the night and stuff like that. So stuff like that really has a big impact on my personal peace. I also have a bookshelf. I have a desk. I have an area to work out. I have a boxing bag. So if I'm stressed throughout the day, I can just go punch it real quick and get back to it. So stuff like that is really meaningful for me. And then on the personal side, places to keep keepsakes, photos of your loved ones, in an area where you can see it, a whiteboard to write down your goals, things like that can really start making your space feel representative of who you are, where you've been, and then where you want to go. I think all of that is important in your overall personal space.
Yeah, and as soon as you were when you were talking about that, I wanted to go back into the internal space that we create for ourselves, and the way you were kind of mapping out each part of your physical space made me think of how do you do that internally for your own self? Do you map out certain aspects of yourself and accept it all there, and do you put certain feelings in one place? How do you correlate that external space to how you map out the internal stuff that you go through as well?
A lot of practice over time. Things start to just make more sense to me to set things up a certain way. I realized that working out and physicality is important to me, so I needed something. So I bought some plywood and put some this foam padding over it so it doesn't make as much noise. And I have my boxing bag on, and it's just a 5x7 space in the middle of my room, not in the middle, but in the corner. But I also know that I need to get things done, especially as an entrepreneur. I can't sit and watch TV all the time. So I put more emphasis on my desk just so I'd be more attracted to going over there. It would inspire me to go over there. I have plants around it. It's my place of peace. So compartmentalizing the things that are internal. For me, it comes with a lot of self-reflection, a lot of journaling, a lot of mirror work, just looking at who you are and where you're thinking about how you're wanting to develop and who you see yourself as, and building up a lot of small wins so you can build the confidence to continue to do things over and over and over again. I
love that, man. Double tapping on the mirror work, could you expound on that and something maybe some things that you say?
Oh yeah, man. Affirmations are extremely important. And every affirmation, I think affirmations should be personalized to yourself. I can't really tell you what to say to yourself, but I do say that you should say it with love and positivity and with grace. So for me, I know that I am one of the best designers in the world. I'm working and that I'm continuing to work towards it until it manifests into my physical reality. But things like that, for me, taking care of my family, making sure they're good, making sure I love them in the way that they need to be loved and feel and receive the love. Everyone has different love languages, so things like that I have on my mirror. And so when I'm in the mirror, I'll look in it and speak in present tense with love. So I am XYZ, and that may change over a course of a couple of months, and some stay the same. So as of the point of me being the best designer that I can be, the best version of myself that I can be, I am strong, I'm powerful, I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm abundant. All these things start to really help how you truly see yourself, because over time it moves from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. And the difference between those two is the conscious mind is your thinking, active thinking mind, and your subconscious mind is more so the things that you do without thinking about it. So like, for example, tying a shoe, that's done with your subconscious mind. You don't have to think about tying your shoe, you just do it. So that only comes with repetition and practice. So the idea is to get those positive affirmations from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind, where it's natural for you to say those things to yourself.
Yeah, love it.
I'm curious, as you mentioned, setting intentions for each space that you have, like the corner where you have your desk, having the plants around it, making it feel as attractive to you to be like, oh, I'm ready to work, like I'm ready to produce, I'm ready to create. And the words of affirmation, the journaling, being really intentional with like the habits and routines you have and the way you speak to yourself. When you started developing those things for yourself, how did that impact the work that you do, the creativity that you do have? Because obviously that's like a whole journey, right? You mentioned video games being like a source of, oh, I like customizing my space, I like personalizing things. But once you got into a space in a state of being really intentional, things like journaling, affirmations, how did that help or aid or guide you in your creativity to continue on?
Interesting, good question. It's given me a stronger sense of self, and so that allows me to be able to attack the problems or the creative problems that are in front of me without putting myself into it. I can attack it from an assured point of view, like we're going to figure this out, versus I don't know if I'm good enough to solve this problem type of thing. It's more so, you know, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. This is just a new problem that I need to solve. And over time, like I said earlier about racking up the small wins, it's just doing the things that you say that you're going to do that builds the confidence within you to allow you to take on bigger and better opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And how do you not get in your own way? I noticed like on Instagram, I've seen different posts with your tattoo limitless and as the ankh as well there. Like what does being limitless mean to you? And then how do you prevent like yourself from getting in your own way?
Because I'm on my own journey, and I don't, it's kind of like, horse with the blinders on. Like I care about what other people are doing, but I'm not comparing myself to other people. So there's no way to get in front of. I'm on my own journey, and all I can do is give myself the grace and the peace of mind that I'm doing my best. You know, every day, as long as I try to do my best every day, I can't be mad at myself. It's like I did what I could. You know,
yeah, love it.
And limitless. That's something that is really important for me. I go through different phases, and there's different words that I'll make, like my word of the year and things like that. I remember like back in when I was about to graduate high school, my word of the year was like confidence. So everything I would always like just say to myself, do it with confidence, do it with confidence. I had a little pact with one of my bros, shout out to Joey. We was like, yeah, word of the year, confidence. Everything we did, we would bounce off each other and be like, hey man, did you do that with confidence? And it was like, yeah, we did. Make sure you do that with confidence. So limitless was that word for me last year. And because I felt like, I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of understanding. I know that this reality is all mental. So it's all what you create in your mind. You can create and destroy with your mind, your own reality. And limitless to me is my affirmation to myself that ain't nobody gonna stop me but me. Anyway, or God. That's it.
Yeah. I had a question when you mentioned your friend Joey and that support and that one word to focus on and that being confidence. I think in a lot of creative endeavors, the mentality of like, I could do it all by myself. Like it's all in me, and which is very true, right? We hold a lot of power. Like you mentioned, our thoughts create our reality. But I think something that's not talked about often is community well-being and community creativity, and it does take a village, right? Shout out to Joy again for being that bro for you. But what does that look like for you? If you could expand on that, a little bit more.
Right on. Yeah, community is everything. You need emotional support to do anything that's hard, because there will be times where you can't will yourself out of it. You have to have the perspective of someone who sees the best in you. So shout out to my mom, my dad, extremely supportive throughout my entire life, and I have a lot of friends that are the same way. And you have to find that tribe of people that really see the best in you and will tell you when you're not being your best, and but also will hold you down and support you. And even if they don't understand what exactly it is that you're doing, they're like, yeah, but I know that you're doing it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
So the community is very important. You can't get anywhere without the people around you.
And it's so funny. Gina calls that group of friends for her obsidian circle. But the reason why I say that is because you have some like shoes, right? A part of your brand called Obsidians.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Powerful gym.
Powerful gem. I'm telling you, it's powerful. First time I told you, he was like, "It's called what?" Now you get it.
No, I was looking at your IG. I was like, "Wait, these are called Obsidians?" Okay.
Yeah.
What was the thought behind that name and those shoes?
Well, I had to find a name that fit how those shoes looked, and they were all black with a shiny patent leather in the front. I wanted to inspire and to have a feeling of luxury. They're like fine Italian leather, so that's where the Don comes from, like the Dons, Don collection. And so, and naturally, I called them the Don Obsidians. I was looking for a black gem that was strong and it's a valuable gem. So,
yeah, that's what I call my 6 friends that I'm like, there's a reason we met. The way we hold each other accountable, the way you call me out and you want to see me grow. Like, those are the people that, it sounds weird, but have kind of earned our places in each other's lives.
Yeah.
But that's because we've shown up for each other in so many different ways.
That's dope. You call it, so you said the Obsidians?
The Obsidian Circle.
Okay.
So they're my circle of people that I know, like, if I tell them something, like an accomplishment, they're going to celebrate my wins in the same way I celebrate theirs. If I hit rock bottom for whatever reason, like, they're there to pick me up again, and I do the same for them. Like, it's this such clear communication, transparency that we're there for each other. So, yeah.
Shout out to the Obsidian Circle.
Yeah, shout out to the Obsidian Circle.
You all have shirts?
Any shout outs? Do you have any shout outs?
I don't have any shout outs right now. I don't have Obsidian
We're going to
Circle.
get to the shout outs.
Yeah.
Shout outs. I love it.
Do y'all have t-shirts, Obsidian Circle?
I should.
And you can give it out for Christmas or something.
If you need some help with that, we got you.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it. We got the shoes, I got the t-shirts. Yeah, it works.
Cool. You want to give a follow-up question?
I did have one. I'm forgetting it. Apologies to my memory.
Some more lines, man.
I know, right? I do need more lines made. I really do. I'm actually curious, and I'm actually curious. Is there anything, you mentioned physical health is really important to you. Is there anything that you feel has been transformative in that way? Whether it's like your workout routine, supplements, herbs. I felt like, for me at least, changing the way I see nutrition has helped a lot. So I'm curious, actually. I know it's a weird side note.
I can answer for him. He be punching the heck out of these bags at the park on Instagram.
Really? Wait, I need to follow you.
He be killing it out there,
Yeah, so...
like your go-to channel, I feel like.
So, for me, I started martial arts in 2019, like right before the pandemic.
Dang.
And I had started it because, well, I started before, but I started seriously in 2019. I had found, I had gotten really into Bruce Lee at this time. And I was studying different like martial arts, seeing what I could do. And I found Jeet Kune Do, which is a philosophy of Bruce Lee. And it was life-changing for me because I ended up finding a Sifu or a trainer, but they call it Sifu, who is in direct lineage of Bruce Lee. So in terms of being trained, so Bruce Lee trained this guy named Jerry Poteet, and Jerry Poteet trained this guy Eric Carr, who was my Sifu trainer. I met him, very, very open-minded, very cool guy. I just found him on Google, and he said, "Hey man, just pull up and work out." And so I went there with an open mind. My ultimate goal was to learn how to defend myself and my future family. So that's why I started. And during this process of working out with him and the collective that was around him, it was a very spiritual process, because the way that we had to train was that you focus on your tools, you tool sharpen. So you focus on the same punch and kicks over and over and over and over and over and over again until it feels like your time to shoot. It's subconscious. You can throw it out without thinking about it. And I took that to a whole new level for myself, because I just started to get really into it. And I would record videos of myself trying different things and analyzing and see what worked and what didn't. Then I would go try it in sparring, and so a real application, see what works, what didn't. And then so over time, that allowed me to not only like get my physical right, but also like connect my mind to my body. So like it's more responsive. It's more, my body reacts immediately when my mind tells it to do so. That kind of thing was extremely powerful for me. So that, in combination of learning about nutrition and learning about the right things to eat and what you shouldn't eat. If you can't pronounce it and it's in the ingredients, don't eat it. Just stay away from that. And so things like that are really, get your mind right, which then helps you get your body right, which then helps get your mind and your spirit right. So those all go hand in hand. So.
Love that, man. Especially the mind-body connection piece.
The gut to brain. Yeah. Man,
like having your body react when you tell it to is like a skill that people think they have, but not. Like, I know I don't have that completely yet. I'm doing CrossFit right now, and I'm learning things like that in CrossFit because, most of the moves in CrossFit you just don't do naturally.
Right.
And it's like you have to really connect your mind to your body to be able to even do the move. And like, that's the first time I've ever experienced that versus just going in the gym and like lifting bench press. Okay, you don't really you can do that unconsciously,
right?
But it takes something else to do a pull up and also do a sit up at the same time or something like that.
Yeah, I love practical exercise. I love things that like for example, if I was to fall off a cliff or something, I want to be able to pull myself up. So like things that are like really practical towards like survival and safety, and I think that's what I value in terms of my exercise and things like that. So that's how I base it around. So there's the fighting, and then the practical calisthenic exercises, things like that.
I don't know. Throw it back to you.
Yeah,
another question.
You have another question?
I'm going to.
Oh yeah, I don't have. I'm done with my questions. I've answered I've asked all my major questions.
Cut you off now. Okay. So I have another question. I think about this a lot in terms of distractions, how many distractions we have in the world in general. And gratification is always obviously around us all the time. And I think sometimes that could hinder people from tuning in inside of what they want to create and put out in the world. I think it's really easy to kind of just consume and view and be in that state. And I'm curious, everyone's journey into how they tapped into that creativity is so different. It's so individualized. My question is around the approaches you took to design when you first discovered, I really like this. How did you approach it? How did you continue to kind of nurture that in general?
Yeah, distractions are a big piece of society right now. I know why it's hard for a lot of people to get things done, because we have so much in front of us that is, interesting to look at. The moments where I start to figure out what it is that I need to do are those moments when I can't check my phone. So for me, that's like a shower, like a shower. I can't check the phone. It's just me and my thoughts. I'm able to sit there, just think about things I need to get done, where I am personally, or sometimes I don't think of anything. Sometimes I'm just there. And those are the best feelings. How I continue to cultivate creativity is desire. I mean, I want to create cool shit. So like it's exciting for me to create something cool and something meaningful and practical. Like right now I'm like working on. I'm trying to create the perfect tiny home. I'm not even into tiny homes that much, but I do want to offer it. Like I personally wouldn't live in one, but if I were to live in one, I would want to optimize in a way that had a lot of thought into it and a lot of intention into it. So things like that. I really like to like stay aware and pay attention to like what's going on and what's going on in our society and for our people, especially the underserved youth, our Black people, minorities, like all that. I try to see on how I can help from a design standpoint. And one thing that I'm excited about, and I'm going to figure out a way to get this done, is a mobile learning classroom, like a mobile learning experience for the underserved youth, like a cool classroom that you can take to different schools that are underserved and give them information and knowledge and influence that inspires them to want to do more for themselves and learn more for themselves, give them a different perspective. There's gonna be some new renderings coming out soon. I got them done. I just gotta edit the video so it looks all the way that I want to present it out there. But things like that is just trying to apply my skill to something meaningful. So I take that by going outside of myself. I don't put my ego in my design. I try to design for others. So that's what continues to push me forward.
The impact you'll then influence people to have in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. We low-key just talked about that maybe a couple episodes ago when I mentioned I wrote a poem and I knew it was ego-based after I read it to someone else. And it's like ego in our art, you definitely can tell when someone was very so much in their ego when they created a piece of work. Even when you walk into different spaces, you know what the intention behind a person by the way something is designed or the way you listen to something or whatever that case may be. So it's very powerful that you say you make an effort to try to keep your ego outside of your work because definitely people will be able to pick that up.
I mean, at times there's nothing wrong with having your ego in there. Like some of the best rappers alive have a complete ego in their music, but then they also do things later that have an impact.
Yeah.
So if that poem you did, sometimes you gotta get this stuff out there. Man.
Yeah. Like Jay-Z said in one of the songs on 444, he was like, sometimes you gotta keep your ego just to remind these things. That's what he said. Sometimes you need, that's what he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true.
That's real.
Very true.
That's real.
What do you consider yourself, the art or the easel? Like, if you're like back to your original definition of the art and the easel, what would you consider yourself, the art or the easel?
I'm twofold for sure. I'm both.
Okay.
Because I'm putting in the work on myself to be the best version of myself so that I can present the art to the rest of the world. But in doing that, I become the art because there's interest in how it gets done. People are always interested in the process and the journey. So the end result of me then creates a better end result for what I put out. Because like I said before, I'm not trying to put my ego into it. But ego aside, having so many different angles and perspectives and layers to me then creates a level of art that people haven't seen before. And I can show then that there's a different way to live or a different way of being. There's a different reality that you can have. I started in a corporate job. Worked for a big corporate company for a couple of years right outside of school for about 4 or 5 years. And I realized that I didn't have the creative expression that I wanted. And then so I had to figure out a way to get out of that and get the freedom that I needed. And the freedom that I needed, that's what I've been looking for the whole time, is the freedom to create, the freedom to be myself authentically. Now in all of my opportunities and my pursuance, I can just be myself. Like with Cube Living, the company that we design shipping container homes with. Me and my business partner, she completely understands me. I completely understand her, and we can work with that symbiosis. And she's a 60-plus-year-old white woman, and I'm just now turning 30-year-old black man. So it's an interesting dynamic. Yeah. But the way that we work, we're able to authentically be ourselves and create and provide things for others. And that was an opportunity that I did not have in that environment that I was with in my corporate job. Like, there were ideas that I had that they weren't listening to, and I get why they weren't listening to it, because I was a young guy. Like, why would they listen to me? But I said, I'm not going to sit here and play around with you guys. I'm going to figure out how to do it in my own way. And so the art is me showing that there's another way to live, you know, and that's for you. Authentically, you be authentically yourself. And that's why I created the I Am collection, because who you are is always evolving, but you are you. And so you can always add that extra element of who you are. So today I am powerful. Tomorrow I am abundant. Tomorrow I may be a designer. Maybe I don't, like, not person B, but like maybe I need to pivot. I'm no longer a designer, and I want to I'm interested in teeth and dentists or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a moment in their life where they have to pivot and change what they're doing, but it doesn't change who they are. I thank you guys for having me. I love what you're doing. Like, the art in Hazel is dope. I'm curious to see all the amazing conversations you guys are going to have in the future. Yeah, I heard about some of your plans, and I'm excited, man. So shout out to the art in Hazel.
All right. Thank y'all. See y'all later.
Bye.